This paper right here,
Mm.
this is $1 million.
What did you do in those 2 months during the stand contest?
In those 8 weeks, I made 123,000.
What was the best selling?
Probably my course.
You start by doing real estate, and then what makes you say, well, let me make a course about courses? Like, how does it go from there to there?
I know, it's crazy. So I went from like literally paycheck behind a paycheck. I did the work nobody wanted to do in real estate. And within 3 years, I hit top 1,000 agents in the whole country, which is bananas. I've always wanted to be a wife and a mom. That was like my dream. That's what really started the digital product coaching space for me.
What's the main thing people come to you and you're like, oh, the answer's right there?
I think the biggest thing is like they struggle with conversion. I believe that you should have 5 pillars of content on social, and only one of them gets to be your job. And the other 4 is like who you are, what you're reading, what you're eating, what makes you tick, like why I'd hang out with you on the weekend.
Just for anybody who's watching, who is just getting started, what should they do first? We just met in New York with Gary Vee and the CEO of Stan, John.
Yeah.
And that's because we both won this contest. What did you do in those 2 months during the stand contest?
So in those 8 weeks, I made $123,000, and I was doing coaching courses. Well, I have a coaching course that I have, digital products, and I have some subscription-based models. And then I also did one webinar for $97 teaching people about the 13 changes in the algorithm.
Okay, so let's go back to what was the best selling for you during that period?
So the best selling for me during that was honestly probably my course teaching people how to create coaching courses and digital products, which I will tell you the crazy thing, when I was going there, I had it as this is a set price. You take the course, it's self-paced, download your workbook, and I'll do 1 call a month with you for 45 minutes. And after being there, I restructured the entire thing and I lowered the price, but I'm going to coach them for the full year, because what I've learned is that people need more handholding and they need more like guidance when they enter this world. And so I restructured it so that I can be more like closely available for them. And we signed 6 people on since I got home, which is cool.
Amazing. So like in a week. So let's go back though. During that time period, what was the price of that coaching?
$17.97. There was a payment plan option too, but $17.97.
So $1,797.
Yep.
And they got a course from you?
Yep. They got a course that was pre-recorded and it's self-paced. There was 23 lessons, and there was a really sexy looking workbook that they download with it. And then a 45-minute call once a month.
Okay. So walk us through it. You start by doing real estate. So tell us that story. And then what makes you say, well, let me make a course about courses? Like, how does it go from there to there?
I know, it's crazy. So I'm a real estate agent in Northern California, and I've sold 880 homes. And I went from like literally paycheck behind a paycheck, borrowing money from everybody I know, like siphoning gas from a motorcycle to a car to get me to a showing because I had literally no money, and like crying myself to sleep every night, like knowing that I was meant for more, but I just was in a difficult marriage where like my ex-husband was 80% disabled with PTSD from the Marine Corps. So I'm literally crying myself to sleep every night, wanting a different life, and stuck. And I ended up getting into real estate, and going into real estate, like just to take you back a little bit, like I door knocked 200 doors a week and did 3 open houses every week. Like that's hard. That is a lot of, like, people don't want to do that. But I made my why bigger than any excuse that I could come up with. Like I had to get out of the financial spot I was in, and I wanted to like be proud of myself. And so I did the work nobody wanted to do in real estate. And within 3 years, I hit top 1,000 agents in the whole country, which is bananas. And like, I think the thing that a lot of people, when somebody wants to be successful, they are looking at someone on social and they're like, I want to be just like that. But that's someone who's been doing it for like 10 years, 20 years, and you're seeing their success now. Like no one sees me crying on my garage floor because I couldn't get to a showing because I'm like scrounging my cushions in my like couch for like literal change, you know? And then to be able to be a top 1,000 agent in the country 3 years later, like it's wild. And so what happened is people started asking me, how are you doing this? Share it with me. So I started my coaching world really just like going into offices and like sharing what I was doing, and then realized people will pay for that. So then I started to charge for my public speaking. but I've always wanted to be a wife and a mom, Arlen. Like that was like my dream. And I met my husband on Tinder, by the way, swipe right. And we now have 4 beautiful, healthy boys. We had 4 miscarriages on our journey to become parents. Like, so it's been a road, but, I didn't want to have to set my kid down to go on a listing appointment. That's what really started the digital product coaching space for me online, is like, I was like, how can I be a present mama and make a crap ton of money and also still help people, which like, that's why I got into real estate, was to help people with the biggest financial decision they'll ever make in their life. And then when I got into coaching, like the thing is like crazy. So you see people out there every day complaining about a problem they have or something they wish they could change in their life. And you sit there, and whether you're on social or you're in your office and you hear someone complaining, you're like, well, if you just did this, you could, congratulations, you're a coach. Like that's what it is. We have this wisdom in us and this experience that people will pay for. So I started with one social media class that was $697. It was 8 weeks. And I started with that and I sold 234,000.
Now, when was this?
This was like 2020.
Oh, so 2020, you're targeting other real estate.
Only real estate.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was only realtors in 2020 with teaching them how to build a business through social. But then I started having like stay-at-home moms working out or reaching out to me, and sourdough bread makers and attorneys. And I'm like, so I can help any business owner scale their business through social. So then I started to open it up and I started to do like one-on-one coaching calls. And then one night I was my 3rd baby. I just had him and I'm like breastfeeding him and I'm 2 months postpartum. And I get weird ideas when I'm postpartum. I'm like, what if I did this? And I was like, what if I create a coaching container and I charge it crazy little for it, like $29 a month. And I just say, hey, I'm going to coach you twice a month for $29 for 45 minutes. And I listed all the things I could coach them on, like, you know, how to break into the luxury market and how to figure out where you're going to farm and the objection handlers for buyers and all that. And I was like, who would be interested? I put it on Facebook. And because I'm 41, so I still have quite an audience on Facebook. My Instagram grew last year from like 35 followers to 125,000 by like really strategic moves. And I still have a lot of people on Facebook. So I put this post on Facebook. I'm like, if I were to create this $29 coaching container, like who'd be interested? Arlan, I had 400 people be like, I'm in.
Whoa.
So 14 hours later, this is my first Stan Store. 14 hours later on Stan Store, I launched my first product and it was $29 and 400 people commented. I closed 317 of them 14 hours later. And I was like, oh, snap, like subscriptions, cool. Yeah, I was like, it's money while you sleep.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of gone from there. And then eventually I was doing all this coaching and I started to have brands and companies and other realtors and other business owners reaching out and they're like, how have you done this? So then I launched the coaching hub and it's just been wild. Yeah. And I do a lot of webinars for $97. Like, right. I love doing a $97 webinar.
And they're great to bring in traffic, great to have people put a little bit of skin in the game to see if they really 100%. Are going to mesh well with your teaching style.
They see your vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what I caught I caught a lot from that, but one of the things I wanted to pull from that and extract is something that I talk about a lot with my audience, which is, what do you want to be known for a year from now, 2 years from now? What do you want to be associated with your brand, your name? And once you have that, as you start to build that authority, then you can almost do anything. Mm-hmm. Because what all of that success, the reason 317 or so people in 14 hours said, yes, I want you to coach me, is because you did the 200 door knocks to begin.
Literally, friend.
It has to be that. So that how important do you think it is to put in that work to establish that, even when things are not signaling that it's working?
The way that I look at that is like, when I was knocking all those doors and I was doing all those open houses, every single time I held an open house, I went on social media and I said, look at my new open house, look at my new open house, come visit me. I never said, look at my new listing, because that would have been out of integrity and I didn't have the business yet. But perception's reality on social. So everyone out there is like, who the heck is this blonde girl and how is she getting so much business? I used to have platinum blonde hair, by the way.
Okay.
and I didn't have any business. I hadn't sold a house yet, but that was this perception of social media. And so for me, I didn't have a playbook for social media. It's 2012. Like I was like MySpace and like, Facebook. And I believed that I was going to do the things that the future me would do. So I was like, it's not about who I am now. It's about who I'm going to become. And the difference of who I am now and who I'm going to become is a series of small, good, consistent choices. And like small, good, consistent choices add up. Same thing as small, bad choices. You want to lose weight, eat a salad for the next 30 days. You want to gain weight, eat chocolate cake, right? And so for my business, I've just been like, what small, good thing can I do today? Like when I get on social, so like growing my following from the 35,000 to the 126 or whatever it is now on Instagram, like every single day, I'm like, how can I add value to people? Whether I'm educating them or I'm entertaining them, like I'm all about like making people laugh and being like super transparent with who I am. And that like, half the day my hair is dry shampoo. I did not shower for you today. This is yesterday's hair. You know what I mean? But I think the transparency is what makes people be like, oh, I want to work with her. And also like, I'd want to be friends with her.
Yeah. So let's break down so everybody has this clear view. You were and are a real estate agent. Or do you still sell real estate?
Yeah, girl, I'm going on a listing appointment when we're done.
Wow.
I'm leaving here to go on an appointment.
And that's awesome. So you're in the trenches, you're doing the work, but at the same time, you also have this now income stream from teaching other people how to be recognized, how to get in front of more
build their
potential
brand.
client, build your brand.
I freaking love brand building.
Yeah. So you joined the stand contest, the Gary V stand contest. Yeah. That sold. Is that the main thing that sold that 125K, or was there another product? Because that was 1,700 or so.
Yeah, so that sold, and then I did that. I passionately study the algorithm, and I train like 6,000 realtors on social media, and so I do twice a year. I do a class on the algorithm changes, and so my algorithm class that brought in like over $20,000.
Wow.
Because that was,
what was that price point? 97 price point. Yeah. Live coaching?
Live. It's a live class. And then they can pay for the recording as well if they want it, but it's the same price.
Yeah. And I did that last summer. I did a lot of $97, $99 webinars, workshops, live virtually. Yes. And they're so fun. And when you're used to doing webinars in general, so if anybody's watching this who does like free webinars, those are awesome too, because they can bring in a lot of people and people can convert from that. But sometimes like during the summer last year, I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute. So I can come to the webinar already $5,000 to $10,000 in.
100%.
Because, if certain people, 50 people, 100 people sign up, they're paying $99, $97. When you come in, there's a certain energy you come in when you've already been paid for the value. Agreed. And then on top of that, the people who've paid $97, they're going to be more likely to upgrade to whatever you're selling if you're selling something on there.
You get them used to giving you money.
Yeah. And it's also like, it's just, you want to test out different things. So sometimes I'll do a free webinar if I'm looking for broad and I'm looking to bring in things, a lot of people. And sometimes I'm doing, it's going to cost money because it's this special thing that you get. Yeah.
So like this paper right here, this is $1 million. So my intention this year, so last year I made 647,500 in coaching, not including selling any houses because they're both 7-figure businesses now. But my goal for just this year is to make $1 million in coaching. But the thing that's interesting is before Stand Store, and this is no joke, the most I ever had made was 310,000. And then signing up with Stand Store, it doubled, over doubled.
What do you think that is?
The auto DMs. Swear to God, it's the auto DMs. It is like it's the leverage that I needed in my busy world where I'll create the social content. I'll make the reel, I'll make the carousel, I'll make the post, I'll send out the email. But like the work that it can do for me when I'm not working is crazy, friend.
For people who don't know what that means, what is the auto DM? Feature?
Yes. So you will hear people talk about ManyChat and you'll hear people talk about Stand Store. Those are the two biggest that I know of for auto DMs.
Yes.
What it means is that, so for example, I'm teaching a class called Multiple Streams Masterclass, and it's a free class to teach people how to build an additional stream of income, any industry they're in. If you go on my Instagram and you comment masterclass, you're going to get the link for it, right? So what that means is you can go on my Instagram, any story, any reel, and you can type in the word masterclass right now. I don't care where you are in the world. Automatically, it's going to come into your inbox in like 2 seconds. That's the power of an auto DM. And there are certain things you can do where like, and they play well with the algorithm. So you're not penalized for using them, which is like such a blessing because we used to be.
Yeah, because so basically Instagram is okay with these two juggernauts doing this.
Correct. Yep. And then what I always do is I will always set it to, so you're rewarded on the algorithm, you're rewarded for your watch time, how long you can keep someone on your platform, binging your content. You're rewarded for your likes, your comments, your shares. So if you're rewarded for your comments, and I actually think of the algorithm almost like a tool. So like say you're on Instagram, right? You can make a comment, you can like something, you can DM, you can send an auto DM, you can do a reel, you can go live. That's like 7 different tools. And the more tools you use on the platform, the more eyes you're going to get on your content. So what I love about the auto DM feature with Stan is that I always set it to have it comment back. So like, it's like masterclass. And then I'm like, sweet girl, check your inbox. It's there. Boom. I just hit 2 tools on the algorithm. So like use that feature. When you set up your auto DM, please use that feature because it's worth it.
Now, I teach a lot of people how to join Stan. And one of the things I say is like, you can get that 20 something dollar version, or you can get the $100 a month version and you get the auto DMs, you get the email nurture, you get all kinds of things that just turn you into the business. Like you are now plugged in. You can get rid of mini chat if you already have it.
I am getting mini chat rid of it this month. I'm still paying for it. I'm like, why am I paying for it
too? Because I have some older ones that, you know, that are automations. But if you're starting out and you haven't even started with mini chat, don't have 5 different, you know, Calendly and this and that and the other. Have Stan and to do it. And we're not going to sit here and promote Stan, but it's actually how we met each other, and it's makes things super simple. Because
I'm literally doing a free class and teaching realtors about Stan Store because I was like, you need to have this in your business.
Yeah, it's great. And so when you think about people who you teach on a day-to-day basis, what are their biggest blockers and how do you help them through that? Like, what's the main thing people come to you and you're like, oh, the answer's right there?
I think the biggest thing is like they struggle with conversion. They're like, I don't know what to post. And when I do post it, like, how do I get people to interact? So like, I have a framework for when I'm creating content or when I'm coaching someone, I'm like, people don't understand that like they are a brand. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what you do. You are a brand. And most of the people that I coach, when they come in, they talk about what they do. They talk about their job. And I'm like, that's great. That is what you do, but it's not who you are. And so I believe that you should have 5 pillars of content on social, and only one of them gets to be your job. And the other 4 is like who you are, what you're reading, what you're eating, what makes you tick, like why I'd hang out with you on the weekend. And then also, when you are creating content, you always want to make sure you're asking questions, because the point of social media in my world is to build your brand, make connections, and do business. Like that's why I'm on these platforms, right? And so I like to be really intentional with my topics. And like, I will tell you the number one thing when I coach someone, the number one thing. So like I do social media audits for people, and literally it's a 1-hour call. It's one-on-one. And the first thing I do is I'm like, let's see what is working and what isn't. I literally audit their content. So often, Arlan, they're like, oh, look at the house they just sold. And it's their pretty headshot with their logo and their brand. And people are like literally putting up like flyers on their Instagram. The algorithm is literally trained to pull eyes away from your content because it looks like you're selling something. They don't want us selling on social. They want us connecting on social, right? So first thing I do is I audit it. Then I re-optimize their bio. One of the other things that I always have to help people with is like, they don't say what they do. They don't say who they are. They don't say who their ideal audience is. You have 2 freaking seconds to stop the scroll. So I'm like, think of your Instagram page or your Facebook or whatever you're on as your digital business card. And if you have 2 seconds to stop the scroll, or say that like, Arlan, you make this killer reel and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's awesome. I want to follow her. And then I go to your page and I don't know who the heck you are. And I'm like, well, that was a one weird random video of hers. But when I go to yours, guarantee, and you go to mine, you can tell who we are, who we serve, how we can help them. So I optimize their bio. And then I work on their content. And I will tell you the number one thing that I work with people on, truly, 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 that want to build a business through social is their hooks. The
Yeah.
hook.
The hooks.
The very first thing that they put on their video, on their picture. People think a hook is only going to be and for those who don't know what a hook is, it is the words, the first thing that you see when you scroll onto someone's post, whether it's a static post and you see the caption, the first words on that caption, that's your hook. If you are doing a reel, the first words on the screen, that's your hook. Most people, they'll just put a video up and they don't even have words on it. And I'm like, why would I click on that? How is that going to add value to me? Like, I don't care. So, like, I work with people. I'm like, the quality of your hook is going to make or break your content and determine if someone's going to like stick on there or like get off.
Yeah.
So I get really excited about it because
no, I love that.
it.
It's your expertise. It's worked for you. I call it the lab framework. What have I learned? What have I then applied? And what have I benefited from? And this is absolutely your forte. I mean, it's not only the real estate, but it's also now I use social to bring more people my way. I am going to be interviewing a woman named Monica. You may know her. She does real estate and she does real estate showings on YouTube.
Okay.
And I think she's just sold like, I don't know how many, more than 100 in the last 2 years, houses. Cool. And what she does is she goes into developments and she shows the different versions of the houses.
Yeah, the new builds.
Yeah. And she just walks through, and if she has an opinion about something, she'll say it. And it's very much that being yourself. And I tell people, like, are you on YouTube?
Rachel? I am on YouTube. I was like, after we're done on this, I'm like, I'm going to be picking your brain because I have a YouTube channel. I have 10,000 subscribers and I have intentions to be super consistent with it, especially after seeing Gary. I was like, okay, kicking the butt. I hear you.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about YouTube right now. I think it'll help everybody if we have a conversation about that now. Yeah. What do you do on YouTube? You post long form?
I post long form.
And how often?
I post long form. There is no how often because I haven't been consistent. Before I was like really like before it's because honestly, I've had 4 kids in 5 years. So like if you can imagine, I've either been pregnant or having a baby or trying to get pregnant for like the last 8, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I will tell you is this. I'm going to take notes as we're talking.
Sure.
So for me, what I want to do is I want to come up with a cadence of consistency. My intention is to do what I did previously that worked really well to get me to the 10,000, which I know isn't that much, but like that's where I'm at, right? We have to start somewhere.
We start with that's a lot because that's a lot for a lot of people watching this. They're like 10,000. I would kill for 10,000.
Right. Okay. So my intention is now the way that I plan to do the YouTube is to do a long form video, start it with the hook. Then I can do I do a teeny little intro and then I get to the meat of it. And then my outro, as I've always been like, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But when we were at Gary's, they were like, don't do that. So I wanted to ask your opinion on the like.
Before we get into that, let me ask you, what is your intention with the channel? What are you trying to sell?
Well, usually I coach what it's been previously is I coach realtors on how to build their business, either through social or traditional real estate. But I also am wondering, can I filter in? Can it be like my overall brand on Instagram is real estate and business coaching? Can my YouTube be that? Can it be both?
Yes, it absolutely. I mean, because they work together, it can be. Like if you had asked me, can it be selling houses and coaching realtors? I would encourage you to not do those two together.
That's totally different. But I'm only trying to talk to business owners, and you know what I mean?
So you're talking to all business owners or real estate interior design?
When I do the coaching about being a coach or coaching digital products, I'm talking to anybody. But I will say, I mean, like, I think probably like 85% of my audience is still realtors.
Yeah, I would focus on that. Even if other people are going to watch it, I would make it intentionally for realtors.
Yeah.
Real estate agents.
Yeah.
Right? I would do that because it's more important that the real estate agents know to go to you.
Yeah.
If they've never heard of you, than it is for someone with a different type of business to stumble upon.
Sure.
And then they will stumble upon you and they'll know what you do. And you can have videos that say this applies to everybody, da, da, da. Totally. But I think your whole aesthetic, when you go to their page, your banner, your bio, everything should just point, and you're great at this aesthetic part.
Yeah.
Everything should point to you are a 7-figure real estate What do you call yourself? A real estate agent?
Yeah, I'm a realtor.
Yeah, a
Yeah, I'm a
seven-figure
realtor. I
realtor.
call myself a business, or I'm a top, like whenever I say who I am, I'm like, I'm a top 1,000 realtor in the country. I'm a mama of 4 boys. And I'm a business and social media coach.
Yeah.
'Cause that's
So
like what I do.
one of the things I'd have you do, if you haven't done this already, or even do like a revamped version, is to have that kind of trailer
Yeah,
that you can have that says all that. It's like your hero video.
totally.
And it can be 4 minutes long, it can be 15, it doesn't have to be a very long video, but
Mhm.
it needs to say that. It needs to take people through the ups and downs. It can have emotion to it if that comes
And are you
naturally.
saying the one that's pinned on my, like when people first
Yeah.
go on to see who I
So
am, my pinned
you
one?
would need to just post it anyway. So
Yeah.
post it as a video
Yeah.
so that
I
kind of,
have one right now pinned, but it's old. I'm platinum blonde in it. You know it's old.
yeah, I think you need to, that's what I mean. You need to bring it to
Cool.
now
Cool.
and do that. And then you can go in when you can customize it to be shown to people who are not subscribers
Yeah.
or shown to people who are subscribers. I'd have it both
Yeah.
with the same video for a
Yeah.
while. And then as you grow, when you get to 100K, you can switch that up.
Cool.
But that's what I would do for now so that
Yeah.
anytime someone goes to your channel, they know that it starts
Yeah.
automatically playing.
So
Um,
what I do on YouTube right now, or what like I every time I would do a long form, I would then also do a very short reel and then tell people on Instagram for my call to action, if you want more of this, comment, books, and then I'll send you my top 10 books that I use to build my business, whatever. And then it links them to the YouTube channel to watch that video.
yeah,
So like I
that's
always,
great. Let me tell you a little bit about that. So that's cool.
okay.
And it has helped a lot of people grow. But right now with YouTube, YouTube is so, so good at finding the right people for you
Mm-hmm.
on its own platform.
Okay.
So yes, you can do that in the background, but what you're going to do is just focus on YouTube and you're going to say every video that you put up for the next 30 days, let's say you put up one every 3 days or something like that.
Yeah.
If you can, you can do once a week if you want, but I would do for you to kickstart things, I would do it like once every 3 days or so,
Okay.
twice a week. It doesn't have to be super long, but it does. You may, you're going to kickstart the system and
Yeah.
agitate a little bit. Every time you put that video, think about that, pretend it's like brand new, your channel, and just think, I am now telling this YouTube algorithm who I am and who I
Yeah.
want to attract. So in
Cool.
your hooks, you can do call outs like might know how to do with ads and organic
Yeah.
shorts. You're going to title it. You're going to title it in a way that it's going to call out the person.
Totally.
You're going to do
Yeah.
that. And so you're creating that thumbprint,
Yeah.
that fingerprint for YouTube to understand.
Cool.
It's going to take your transcript and it's going to find people through that. And the reason that I say don't focus as much, and other people might tell you something different, but this is what's worked for me. The reason I say don't focus so much on bringing your Instagram followers over is because long form video watchers are a different breed.
Totally agree.
And if you have somebody come over who's used to watching 30 seconds of you and they switch off after 30 seconds, that's bad signaling to YouTube.
Cool.
So what
Yeah.
you want is YouTube to find the people, and you can do a little stoking. You can bring maybe your email list or your clients, things like that, people who will watch a full video.
Yeah.
Once they start to understand the behavior of your audience, people come here, they click on her thumbnails. Her thumbnails are all that. They click on the title. They stay because your hook is going to be a major part of that. You already know that about packaging, but they stay for minutes or a percentage. Then it will put you in front of more people.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, just like on Instagram, the comments matter, the likes, the subscriptions matter.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do. So I can't quite remember what Gary's team said about talking about subscribing, but I'm going to tell you something that I think it might be different than what they said. And you can test both and just see what happens.
Yeah.
I would say to subscribe. And I would say, I would say it within the first couple of minutes.
Yeah. So my belief is that you don't get the business you don't ask for.
Yeah.
As a realtor, you don't get the referral if you don't ask for it. As a coach, you don't get the close if you don't ask for it. On your social, you don't get someone to do something unless you tell them what to do. So why would it be any different for you two?
Yeah, I think when you have like 1 million subscribers and you constantly are telling them to subscribe, it could get annoying to people. But if you think about Stephen Bartlett, within 60 seconds of his video, every video of his, and he's one of the top YouTubers, he sits there for 30 seconds telling you why you should subscribe.
Yeah.
He has no problem asking you to do that. So I think I think you should, because you want to grow kind of quickly. You want to get that groundswell where everybody comes to you. Also you can do this so well, is really have brand identity with your thumbnails. So that I don't even do this, right? So that every time someone sees that thumbnail without even seeing the title, they know it's you.
Know it's me. So I'm doing a rebrand of that. I just reached out to my marketing gal and I was like, I want a fresh look, just because I feel like before it was like light pink, and I'm like, it's like, no, I mean, you can't find pink in my closet anymore.
And make sure that there's only a couple of words, if any, like really bold. Totally. I've seen some really, I think I showed you the Jasmine Star video where she has, her videos are amazing. Yeah. It's just that the packaging is just not there yet. It's just not there. And so a lot of people are missing out on this amazing content that I want people to see. So you're going to do that, and you're going to just teach, right? You're going to do things that are like, could be in your courses, right? You're going to teach them as if it's a webinar, but it's shorter. And you can have long form. I would experiment with that too. Experiment with a 45-minute hot seat coaching, it won't hurt at all to try those things out. Yeah. And then what's going to happen is, if you just consistently do that, one of these videos is going to start to take off. Cool. And when that does, it lifts all the videos around it. It starts to lift up. And that depth that you get, even when it doesn't take off, that depth you get with 70 views, with 125 views, with 370 views, what's going to happen is, instead of people watching 20 seconds of a video, they're going to sit there and watch 20 minutes of a video on average, 10 minutes on average, 5 minutes on average. And you're going to get monetized. If you're not already, you might already be monetized. Are you monetized already?
On YouTube?
So you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in 12 months.
I have no idea, but
So what you would do is you go into your dashboard, and this is going to help everybody watching. So it's like, this is really good stuff. Go into your YouTube dashboard, into the settings. Look at it says, what is the word? It's the word that means like your metrics and analytics. Analytics. Yeah. Go into your analytics, push that tab. You'll see for the past 28 days, change it to the past 365 days. And if you have 4,000 or more watch hours, then you need to look for an invitation from YouTube to become a partner where they pay you per view. Okay. If you don't, you may have like 2,000 because you haven't posted a bunch. All you have to do is have that in mind. It's like, okay, I need get 1,000 views, 4 minutes each.
Let me ask you this, this is the last thing I want to ask about YouTube, but when you're closing the video out, if you want them to like go to your coaching or whatever, like the next thing, are you like, check my bio? Because like what I was doing previously is like in the description of the video, I'd have links in there for the stuff.
That's exactly it. You want to have a link above the fold to start with. That's what a lot of people skip. Have one of those links be above the fold. Have them go, and also do a pinned comment. So you want to say, just like you're saying to subscribe, you say, as you're talking about whatever the tool is or the solution is, or even the thing that you're selling is, in my description or pinned comment, or in my description, you'll see below, and point. Because some people, half the people are going to watch it on their mobile phones. Yeah, they may have it in their pocket. Yeah. 25% or so are going to watch it on a giant TV. And then another 25% will watch it desktop and other. Okay. Yeah. So you're going to want to think about that, especially like have some verbal, hey, so if you've been, if you haven't been watching, look at this on the screen. If you need them to look at something. Right. Okay. But then it's there. So then you do that. So you have the link above the fold, and you can have other links after it. Yeah. You can have descriptions. You can even do, like, if your video is more than like 15 minutes, you can even do time coding. That helps people. It also helps with SEO, which is not, it's a great thing. And so people will skip through and get what they need. And then, your whole goal, then you're going to make the most money from your products. That's just a given. 100%. But it is nice. Like this month, I'm going to make about $10,000 just for posting. Last month, I made about $7,000 for posting. So it is nice to have that whole other salary that's just in the background because you can then invest that into your channel. That's what I
Totally.
do. I pay my editors with that money.
I
And
know.
I don't even do a bunch of editing for my own channel. I do it for other clients.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I know. I
yeah,
literally, so I have like four different VAs in my world that do like for my real estate business, like transaction coordinator and someone who
yeah,
like, I do reels for over 400 realtors where like I come up with the reel, I do the example, and then they send in their raw footage. We edit it. I write the caption, I put the hook on it, like the whole thing.
yeah.
So like, and that's a subscription model. And I'm like already in my mind thinking, okay, so I'm going to reach out and I'm going to get an editor. Cause like, I can come up with the ideas, but I will not be the person who's going to edit it, put it up.
No.
Like that is not
And
going
we
to
can
be
do
me.
the editing. I have an editing service if you'd like to look at that. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody take everything off your plate that is
Yeah.
not bringing you the most money.
Yeah.
Like find a way, either find a way to do like get better at just doing one shot and trimming it, or say, look, I am going to pay somebody $200,
Yeah.
300, $400 to do this
Yeah.
because it's going to become worth it over time.
Over time. Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, I just think it's about like you really nailing those thumbnails and really nailing the titles
The
and don't
hooks.
make the mistake.
Telling you, girl, the hooks. Subject line in an email. It's the hook.
Yeah,
YouTube.
nail those and your personality and your credentials, they all speak for themselves. All of that will shine through.
What else you got for me?
Well,
Or
do you have any other
questions you have?
questions about
No, I
YouTube
think
or
I'm
anything?
good. No, I
Okay.
feel like that's like what I had on YouTube to like refresh this
Yeah.
bad boy.
Yeah. And you can always send me a text and just show it to me and I can tell you, yeah, I think this is going to do XYZ. Yeah, I think just for anybody who's watching who is just getting started and they may not know that this is for them,
Yeah.
what should they do first? Like, should they start a course? Should they do one-on-one consulting? Should they go out and do the extra thing, like the real estate thing, and then come back
Right.
with this authority?
If somebody's wanting to jump into the coaching world and digital products, I would really take some time and sit down. And first, you have to write down what your successes are, because when someone's going to consider working with you, they want to know that you've walked the path that they're on and you've gotten through the other side. Like the one thing that moves people is pain. So I have a situation where I was teaching a class on how the last 3 listings I had got were from AI, a freaking AI. Literally, Arlan, I had a 77-year-old woman reach out to me and ask, she was a pastor's wife, and she asked me to sell her house. And I said, where did you find my information? Because I always track my leads. And she goes, oh, ChatGPT.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
what?
Yep.
Blew my mind. And I said, how did you find me? And she said, I wrote that I wanted a working mom, which I say in everything I do that I'm a mama of 4 boys, right? Working mama. So I want a working mom who's a bit of a bulldog, who sells a lot of houses in Folsom, California. And because on Zillow, twice, people, when they reviewed me, said I'm a bulldog in negotiations.
Yeah.
I pulled that up.
Yeah.
So like for me, when I'm working with someone, I'm like, this is a side, but I'm like, the people are so worried about AI. I'm like, it's not going to replace realtors. It's going to amplify us.
Amplify 100.
And the person who uses it right, the realtor, the coach, the business owner, whoever you are, the person who has the most information out there is the one who's going to win.
YouTube helps with that because
I imagine it does.
Yeah, because it's owned by Google, it pulls all of that information and it pulls it into Google's AI and to ChatGPT.
Yes.
So the more you have on YouTube that is really optimized with really great titles and really great words inside of the videos that it's transcribing, the more you'll be shown by ChatGPT just like that.
Well, that's sexy.
Yeah.
I like it.
So go ahead. You were saying, so
Yeah.
teach people that.
So you're going to write down why you're credible, why somebody's going to work with you. So you're going to write down your successes. So when they choose to hire you as a coach, they're like, oh, well, he's been there. She's been there. Then you're going to think about the problems that are out there in your industry, the things you're seeing people complain about. And literally, like, this is how I decide my next coaching course is I'm like, what is a hole in my industry? How can I fix it and create it? And then I'm like, how do I want to price it? Is it a subscription? Is it once a month? Is it whatever, right? Is it a course? Is it a digital download? And then, well, I'll then take my course, but
yeah.
reach out to me. But I mean, really, like you have to figure out what you want to give to this too. Like I'm a working mama with 4 boys and I'm still in real estate production. So for me, digital products, subscription-based products work very well. I do super limited one-on-one coaching because that model just doesn't work in my life. And if you want to coach with me one-on-one, I'm going to charge you a lot of money for it. That's just
Mhm.
where I'm at in my
Mhm.
world.
Well, when you're
Um,
starting, do you think that coaching, like making your first couple $1,000s through coaching,
yeah.
does that help inform your digital products?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think digital products is such a good way to start for most people because it's you taking all the information out of your brain, putting it on paper, pop it into Canva, make it look pretty, and then you can sell it over and over again. But your effort is that one time of creating it. The hardest part for people is like, oh, what do I do? Like, I have people who come to me all the time and they're already coaching. They're like, I have this coaching course and I wrote it and I can't sell it for crap. Like, I
Yeah.
can't get it out there. And I was like, oh, the reason you can't sell this is because you don't know how to talk to your audience. And that's the biggest thing that's going to be the distinction is getting your messaging right for your audience so that they know that you can actually help them. You know what I mean? Because like someone's like, oh, I want to make $1 million in real estate. I'm like, okay, how do you want to do that? They're like, oh, well, I like open houses or I want to do this. I'm like, okay, so the 3 things you need to do today at your next open house that will net you $1 million this year. Be so freaking crystal clear with what you're talking about and who you're talking to because people just speak in generalities. Generalities don't convert. And I want like a sexy hook that's going to convert, stop the scroll. And that is what I specialize in. So in my coaching, that's what I work with people on is I'm like, let's nail your messaging and that's going to convert your next client.
How do people find you for those workshops that you do and your Instagram? Like, where do people find you? And we'll make sure to put it on the screen too.
Literally every single thing I do is under Rachel Adams Lee. So if you go to Instagram, if you go to YouTube, if you go to Facebook, everything I do is slash Rachel Adams Lee. And then, I mean, I can give you like some of the notes and stuff for the classes and things that I do. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's how you can find me for anything.
And that's a good note to take and observe.
Consistent.
Everywhere is Rachel Adams Lee.
Yeah. I
So
used to have Rachel Adams Realtor. I had it in different places. And I was like, you are your brand. My brand is Rachel Adams Lee. Your brand is Arlan Hamilton. It's like, you don't question it. You know what I mean? And so it's like, also, that's a good name, by the way.
thank
Um,
you. Do you want to know? I think you'd appreciate this. Some people watching may not know this. So Arlen is usually a male name.
mhm.
And my mother named me after her ex-boyfriend after my dad was late to my birth. Royal Patchy.
That's
So he
that's
walked in
that
and it was on the birth certificate.
dang. If ever that makes you want to be on time, that's a reminder for the rest of your life, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. They were not married and they were fighting. And he just decided not to show up for a few hours.
Oh
So she's
my
like, all right, I'm
gosh.
going to name her.
That's so
And I
crazy.
love it. I love the name. So it works
It's a
out. But
good
yeah,
name.
you
Yeah.
just being everywhere.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be everywhere today. You can start with one and you can
Yeah.
build over time. And you
Yeah.
can see both of us are still learning. Like I'm learning about Instagram,
Yeah.
Rachel's learning about YouTube. We're
Yep.
still learning. And that's the beauty of it all. That's
Totally.
that's the thing.
Well, the thing I thought that was like crazy. So, we're sitting in this room and Gary Vee's talking to us, and I know you know him personally.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have 25 people, not 25 people who work in my company, 25 people whose full-time job is my brand. And 2 of those people's full-time job is just looking at comments. And I was like, oh my gosh. So the thing is, though, he's telling us you need to be on TikTok and freaking YouTube and
Everywhere.
Facebook and Instagram,
Yeah.
everything. And I had to keep saying to myself, he has 25 people. He has
25
25 people.
people.
So for those of you listening that are even like, oh my gosh, like even what Rachel and Arlen are talking about is not achievable, please know that like I started with one follower. I started with one follower at one time. And each follower that I get, I like am excited because I'm like, I earned them because my messaging resonated with them. So I think that if you can figure out who your real audience is, but first you have to figure out who you are. You have to figure out like how you want to come off to the industry and what you have to offer. And when you get clear on what you have to offer, then you get to have fun with it. And like people tell me all the time, like I have people that are like, oh my gosh, you talk so much about your hot husband in your life and your whatever. And I'm like, and every single part of it. And then when I talk about a class, you're not like, oh my God, all she's doing is selling, because I invite them in my life. They're part of my world. And like the best compliment I can receive is when I'm out there and someone's like, oh my gosh, Rachel, like, and they meet me in real life. They're like, you're just like you are on social. I'm like, thank you.
Mm,
Like I
mm,
want it to be the same girl, like I'm a girl's girl. Like, let's make this happen. Also, I'm a business owner. I'm going to get, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I think social media coaching, like real estate, it's all so fun. Like you and I would have probably not met we would have met someday, but
Yeah.
but now it's like we have this connection because of Stan. And then it's like everyone from our class, I'm like watching them do their thing. And I'm like, and even them, I'm like reaching out. I'm like, hey, change this hook. This will perform
Mhm.
better for you. But it's like, I genuinely want people to succeed. And I feel the same thing from you.
Amazing. Well, thank you. You've given us so many gems today. And I know that people are going to just be racing over to your Instagram and your Stan. And it was great to talk to you.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.